How's it going? I hope you guys are having a good day. It's 50 degrees outside, which is crazy. I'm glad I get to walk to campus again with nice weather and just chat with you guys about things that I've been thinking about. So when I made the vlog to celebrate Chris's birthday, you know, we were talking about some of his highlights of year 23, and he's entering into his mid-20s. And that got me thinking of my own experience about being a young adult and being now in the mid-20s as a 24-year-old. So one of the first things I think about being a young adult is the nature of relationships. And so actually that's been a source of joy and also a sense of struggle in this stage of life. So I work in a college town, which means that a lot of the people my age are here in Champaign-Urbana temporarily. And so over the past 2.5 years of being here in town after college, I've seen some friends leave town and transition out, and that's been hard. But at the same time, the time I have spent with them here in town has been awesome, and I've been really filled by those relationships. But I think that's the struggle in general when I talk to my friends who are in the same stage of life, is relationships and the amount of work it takes to maintain and grow relationships after college. Because in college, everyone is around you. I lived in dorm for 4 years and everyone literally was a couple steps away or just across campus. But God calls people to different places after college. And so I've learned really quickly how it takes a lot of work to maintain and build relationships. And so whenever I visit a friend in Minneapolis or Washington, D.C., those times are well spent and cherished because it doesn't happen often. But I think also because there's such a change in nature of relationships as a young adult, it can lead to a lot of loneliness. Because community is not constantly around you, if you don't make the effort to be with people, relationships can be really hard, especially as a single person. As a young adult, I've seen a lot of my close friends either get engaged, get married, and I'm so happy for them. But one of the challenges of that is you're reminded of what you don't have. And I've been in a place where I've had to really trust Jesus that he'll be providing all my relational needs, whether it's through people or just through him. That might be another video, me just talking about singleness and how I've been growing in that, but how also hard that is. But that's definitely a factor when I think about this stage of life, is romantic relationships, or what that means. You know, I'm in this really unique position here where most of my coworkers, my students, and just in general, people I'm around are in either serious romantic relationships or they're married. And so I've been blessed. They've done a good job including me in their life. But there are times where I feel excluded just based on our differences in where we are at in life. Also, something I've learned about young adult life is this is just a great time to experiment, try new things, learn more about yourself. I mean, this is why I'm vlogging. You know, I'm so extroverted and I just want to share my life to people that I've found a hobby that I can do both. I can bless people with the content that I put out, and it's good for me because it's an artistic expression of what I want to do. I think just even spiritually, I'm learning more about myself now that I don't have the clutches of the college campus. Yeah, I've learned the areas that I need to grow in. I think just reading Proverbs in quiet time, I'm realizing how I don't actually utilize a lot of wisdom, and that's something that God is constantly inviting me to because I'm pretty impulsive. You know, an example of that is at the Arby's drive-thru where I literally just ordered out of pressure and didn't really think things through.
Can I get the beef and cheddar and then the roast beef instead for the two for $6?
Okay.
And then can I have a large curly fry?
Okay.
And then Oreo bites?
I think as a young adult, I've also had to learn how to budget money and steward my money, to be generous with the finances that God has blessed me with, to give it off, to give it to people, to causes that will advance God's kingdom, but also to pay off my school loans. I actually just applied for my first credit card, which is awesome. Hopefully that builds my credit score. I've also had some failures in that too. I think there are moments where I didn't know how to spend my money and I overspent on fashion, shoes, clothing, overspent on food, and I didn't really invite God into the process of discerning all of that. But as I look at this stage of life, it's been so sweet. By no means do I want this to be the apex of my life. I just want it to be a footstool for a whole life following God and going where He is calling me to. So for now, I'll be here in Champaign-Urbana, and I'm just going to be faithful to what God has called me to here as a young adult. So I think if there are fellow young adults, watching this, I think relationships are huge. How much work are you going to put into building those relationships that you probably formed through college or maybe as a young adult? Shout out to my church small group. I've been really filled relationally by them. It's just been a good place where I can just be myself, be with people my age who are struggling with similar things. If you guys are watching and you're in college, your story may or may not look like mine, but I think just enjoy college right now. Grow in the things that God is placing on your heart, and take that with you when you graduate, wherever God calls you after college. And really, start being intentional with the relationships that you want to see continue to grow after college. What's cool too is when you make friends and they go everywhere, you have different places to visit. So keep that in mind. So I hope that was an encouragement to some of you. Let me know if there are other things that you want me to talk about. I think even within the topic of young adults, there are specific things that I can give more time to, especially in the realm of dating and relationships. So yeah, I hope you have a good Friday, have a good weekend, and see you next time.
7,000 miles away from home with language barriers, land of opportunity. Tell me, is it good to you? But 6 feet deep on stolen land is where they bury in November 1991. Papa came here with a wife, 2 daughters, no money, but they wanted them.